Right, this has been one of the most talked about topics in the last couple of weeks. Is Toby Turner guilty of sexual assault, rape, and drug abuse? If you don't know who Toby Turner is, he is one of the most oldest yet successful YouTubers on the site, with 3 channels catering over at least 1 million. Now I know these accusations have happened like a couple of weeks now, but I feel like no one is making the points that need to be made about these allegations. Now I know what you're thinking. I know that you're thinking, what, Toby Turner? That was like a couple of weeks ago. It's all about the Matthew Santoro plagiarism now. Why aren't you chatting about that? Couldn't give a rat's ass. Everyone is guilty of a little bit of plagiarism every now and then, but I don't steal other people's work or jokes. I come up with my own. I credit the sources I use, and I come up with my own material. And of course, Nicole Arbour would go on Drama Alert and talk about Matthew Santoro. I mean, how much of a spiteful, evil, sweaty bitch can she possibly be? I fucking can't stand plagiarists to a T. But it's not as serious as something as rape. And the whole thing about YouTube drama, if you make a video about it, you're adding your 20 cents to it anyway, even if you talk about YouTube drama. Why is it such a big fucking issue? It's been around since day one. Why is it all of a sudden a big problem now? If I remember me history correctly, didn't Shakespeare once say, the world's a stage and everyone's an actor? You know, coming from a guy whose plays are based on drama. But I'm not here to talk about YouTube drama. I'm here to talk about what the title of the video is about. And the reason why I am making a video about Toby Turner is because, like I said before, no one is making the points that need to be made, and everyone and their fucking mother are too quick to jump to conclusions, assuming that he's guilty without proving either he's innocent or guilty. This is where I come in. So we're going to go to my fucking court and sort this shit out, right? And for those of you who think I don't know how fucking court or law works, it's my fucking court. I'll do what I want in it. Alright there, Toby. Apparently you've been accused of drug abuse, sexual assault, and rape. Do you have anything to say in your defense, mate?
A person I dated a few years ago has just made some extremely serious false accusations about me. And I want to be crystal clear. I've never done anything without her consent. I've never tried to trick her into anything. I read her Tumblr post and I was shocked. And I was hurt. These allegations are absolutely false. I just wanted to address it. That's all.
By the way, this is the only video Toby has made in response to these allegations. He doesn't mention her name, but we all know he was talking about April Eff's Tumblr post that is accusing him of these allegations, and has not made any more videos on 3 of his channels since then. And Toby's response to these accusations are fucking weak, man. I'm so sorry, man, but they are. You make no attempt to show any evidence to why these accusations are false, and you pretty much, next to nothing, go into no specific important detail about your side of the story, proof, evidence, detail. Now, I am not accusing you of lying. No, not at all. But if you don't have a detailed side story like April's Tumblr post, I'm going to tell you the truth. That looks extremely bad for you. If you want my advice, if these accusations are truly false, and if I was in your shoes, I would sue them for defamation of character and perjury. Because the thing is, right, people like April come up with justifications to why they're too ashamed to admit accusations like this to anyone with authority, yet she has no problem posting a Tumblr post to thousands of people. I wonder why. Kinda defeats the purpose of what shame actually is, don't you think? Okay, Toby, The only people I can think of who have defended you against these false claims is your mother and your mate, Seth Hendricks. But again, we'll get into that soon. Now, let's talk about the first accusation you're accused for. Drug abuse. Okay, Toby, I am not gonna lie. You are definitely on something.
They're not even real robots. They're just stupid robot voice. To leave a number, to leave a callback number, press 5. I don't know why you would, because everyone has call ID. Exactly. Exactly. Ugh.
And according to the people who have met you and according to the girls you had relationships with, they claim that you have quite the history with drugs.
But I met him. I was in my full cosplay suit gear. I saw it was Toby Turner. I went up to him, and that guy was weird. He was definitely high on something.
It just seemed like he was so, in his content, he was just so jittery. He was just clearly on drugs. He looked less healthy than usual. It looked like it was aging him, and I was worried about him.
Now, I don't know if you're still on drugs, but if you are still on them, please get some professional help and get yourself cleaned up, alright? So I guess it's safe to say that Toby is definitely on the influence of drugs. But the question is, what type of drugs was he on? For a start, on one of his videos, Toby accidentally left a bit of weed in one of his videos and people are crying and moaning about it. Oh, cry me a fucking river. Big fucking deal. He's got a bit of pot in his video, so what? And he lives in California, so it's medically legal anyway. Last time I checked, I don't remember people like Jimi Hendrix, Bob Dylan, or any hippie at all wanting to rape someone after a bit of weed.
Didn't murder anybody, didn't rob anybody, didn't rape anybody, didn't beat anybody, didn't lose one fucking job, laughed my ass off, and went about my day.
So yeah, I refuse to believe that pot is the cause of these drug abuse allegations. Pot usually chills your balls off. Maybe it's different for other people, but majority-wise, pot usually doesn't make you act like this.
Exactly. Exactly. Ugh.
That would be the work of some type of amphetamine like cocaine or ecstasy, which reminds me, other than using drugs like weed, which is not a big deal, unless you smoke far too much of it, that is. What is a big deal is the type of drugs that could really fuck you up, like ecstasy.
In my time in LA, I didn't witness Toby taking Molly. I heard him talk about how he used to take it, and his reasoning for taking it was that it enhances sexual pleasure. So I don't know if that can be used as a date rape drug. I don't know anything about those kinds of drugs because I've no experience with that.
I had a lot of sex anytime I was around. We would have sex like jackrabbits all day, and then I would lay on the floor naked and watch him while he made content. And that was extremely fun for me. The only thing I didn't like was his affinity for drugs. He always wanted me to take Molly, and the way my body reacted to Molly was literally like it obliterated my stomach.
Right, so I guess it's safe to say that Molly is definitely a benefactor in this case. Now, the reason why I say this because several of his exes and YouTube stars claim he was taking Molly, so I guess it's safe to say that there is witness evidence. However, just because you take drugs doesn't necessarily mean that's illegal. Okay, yeah, of course drugs are illegal. However, you wouldn't necessarily go to prison for using drugs. You would normally go to a rehabilitation centre or do some kind of community service. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not oblivious to the idea that there are some countries that do arrest people for using drugs. But don't you think it'd be better to help these types of people get over their addiction rather than punish them? But that's just my opinion. You come up with your own conclusions. But anyway, back to the case. Using drugs is one thing. But if you were supplying drugs to people, or if you were using drugs on people without their consent, or using drugs on people violently, or if you're in possession of drugs depending on the amount, or whatever drugs it may be, that is a whole different thing together. I know what you lot are thinking. I know that you're thinking, but Gray, he's still giving drugs to people. That's bad, that. Yeah, it is true that he has given drugs to people,
He always wanted me to take Molly, and the way my body reacted to Molly was literally like it obliterated my stomach.
But if you were to force people to take drugs without their consent, or drugging something without the other person's acknowledgement, that's a far cry from just giving them drugs. Which reminds me, these young ladies have claimed that Toby drugged them, while these ladies claim Toby would never do it without their consent. So let's go over the drug abuse accusations from the girls who claim they were drugged by Toby. So let's start with the girl who started it all, April Efff. And this is her statement on the drug abuse. On the 26th of Feb 2013, April wanted to go to a mate's house or wherever the hell she was going. Toby stopped her and asked her if she would take a shot with him. This is before she would drive to her friends, but then the situation changes. Once she took the shot, she claims something was wrong and blames Toby for putting something in her drink. She also states that there was so much alcohol and drug abuse that she's just quote-unquote used to it. Then she claims Toby apologised and admits putting the Molly in her shot from when he used the glass, stating that he only used a small amount. And then once Toby fully admits that he did spike her drink, he started crying, saying, and I quote, "I'm a sex addict and I'm a drug addict and I need help." And then eventually Toby passed out on his beanbag, cuddling April while she's fucked up beyond belief. Also stating that she doesn't remember a single thing after that. Once she felt like she was able to maneuver a car, she drives home and sleeps on her bed sobbing. And the only evidence she has to suggest this actually occurred is this text message, stating that it's quote-unquote evidence to what actually happened. Look, Toby did it, he's guilty, the text message says so. Okay, sweetheart. Let me explain to you why this text message alone is not solid evidence to what you are claiming is true. For a start, your text message does not prove that he slipped Molly into your drink. Cause A, you wouldn't say something as casual as, "Oh, I'm still fucked up from the stuff you slipped in my drink." No, it would be something along the lines of, "What the fuck did you put in my drink?" Or something in an aggressive manner. Because wording it the way you did on that text gives the impression that you just went along with it anyway. Because who in the right mind would say something like that if you were spiked? Because normally when you spike someone's drink, the whole point of doing that is to do it behind someone's back, with the person you're about to drug having no knowledge that you drugged their drink. And most of the time, the person you're about to drug is not a drug addict. So why the hell would Toby keep it a secret if you're used to the drugs anyway? And to top it all off, according to one of Toby's exes that you knew quite well, by the way, she claims that you introduced Toby to Molly.
Things that I heard, and one of the reasons why I didn't really like when he would hang out with April was because I knew that she was one of the people that introduced him to Molly. I tried to get rid of alcohol, I tried to get rid of drugs. I had a very good influence on him. A lot of people, have come to me and told me, like, when you dated him, like, you helped a lot.
If this is true, you're the main reason why drug abuse is a problem in your household. Because if you're the one who got Toby into Molly, you obviously have got more experience. Which begs the question, if you are used to alcohol and drug abuse, why would you pass out over one shot of Molly and vodka? Especially when Toby stated in your words that it was only just a little bit. And then you go so far to say that it was far too much for you to handle. That makes absolutely no sense. You stated that Toby gave you his shot glass that already had Molly on it. So therefore, Toby has already used it more than once, which is why he passed out. And if he passed out from using it more than once, then you must have as well. Because there's no way in fucking hell that you could pass out from just taking a teeny bit of Molly if you're used to it. That is fucking unheard of, man. The only way you could have passed out is that you were taking more than what you were claiming in that Tumblr post. Because I don't believe that shit. I believe he didn't spike you and you both overdid it. Next, we got a person named Kate Elliott who went out with Toby at one point and yet again has got one of those I got drugged stories. And this is how it went. On the spring of 2014, a year after April was drugged, so she says, she claims that she was found in her flat, disorientated and taken to hospital. She claims she doesn't do hard drugs, right? And at the time, she had no idea that she was overdosing on drugs. So she claims and blames it on Toby. She also claims that her mates found her in a flat, disorientated and then taken to hospital. However, there is also a different take on the story as well. Seth Hendricks, one of Toby's and Kate's closest friends, posted a status on Facebook in response to Kate's first post. So let me just ask you a few questions, Kate. According to Seth's side of the story, he claims that he got a call from Toby at 3 o'clock in the morning telling him that you were breaking into Toby's house. And when Seth got to Toby's house, right, you were doing some crazy shit. I mean, you were lighting up candles and putting voodoo items on the floor to shaving your head, Britney Spears style. And with Toby, April and Seth as witnesses. So let's talk about your response to Seth's Facebook post. You stated that Toby slipped Molly into your medicine, which is prescribed for ADHD, so I'm guessing it's Ritalin. But here's the thing, Ritalin usually does not cause schizophrenia. As for Molly, possibly because of Toby's behaviour. But for you to act the way you did and not eat for 5 days straight, you would have to taken a lot more than just a small dose of Molly. In fact, your situation sounds very similar to when Britney Spears had her mental breakdown. Keep in mind that Britney Spears was taking all kinds of amphetamines and was pressured by the paparazzi, and she was in the public eye as a superstar for years. But I can't really blame her. And all this was pushing her to the point of doing some really crazy shit like shaving her head. Pretty much like you state, Kate. But here's the thing. Ritalin is a prescriptive drug for people who have ADHD, okay? And when you are prescribed a pharmaceutical drug, you would normally take 1 to 2 pills a day, maybe every 2 days, maybe every week, or whatever your doctor says when you should take it. So you mean to tell me that you were taking Ritalin 1 to 2 days or whenever you were taking it, and then somehow on your daily intake you just so happened to stumble across a teeny bit of Molly, which would cause you to drive to Toby's house like a maniac and then break into his house? You know, I don't remember April Efff doing something similar, or Amelia either, who we will get to in a minute. Now, I know drugs have different types of effects on people and all that, but if you did all that, you would have to been on all kinds of drugs, man. According to Seth, he claims that all this crap has happened because of a breakup between you and your boyfriend. And even though you had a relationship with Toby at one point, there is no evidence to suggest that he spiked your medicine, even if he was in your flat or not. And even if he somehow drugged you, it would have to taken a lot more than just a teeny bit of Molly. So here's how I see it. You couldn't get over the breakup, so you decided to take drugs to help you get over it. As dark as that sounds, that's probably the case. Or maybe, just maybe, April was the one giving Kate drugs to help her get over the breakup. Okay, so the last girl to accuse Toby of drug abuse is Amelia. This one is the most fishy out of all of them, because A, she removed the video in response to the Toby rape and drug allegations, and it's funny that she comes out with these accusations after April posts her Tumblr post. But the thing is, right, she was backing up April's points. So why would you back up April's points and then remove the video? That is fucking fishy to me. Are you sure it wasn't bandwagon intentional? Because as far as I'm concerned, you got the attention and you couldn't handle it. That's why you removed the video. So let's talk about the drug evidence. You claim Toby put Molly in your mouth by kissing you. You deleted the goddamn video, so your statement is immediately under suspicion. And with that said, I don't believe you. And what makes it even more suspicious that you released that video more or less the same time April posted her Tumblr post. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this video up because I went on about the drug abuse accusations long enough. Is Toby guilty of using drugs? Yes, absolutely. Is Toby guilty of being in possession of drugs and giving them to people? Yes. And so is April. Is Toby guilty of violently forcing drugs onto people or using drugs on people without their consent? No. Now, I'm not accusing anyone of lying, I just have my own suspicions and I want to ask these questions that I find suspicious. You come up with your own conclusions. I mean, at the end of the day, I wasn't there, but I just don't believe April, Kate, or Amelia Talon's side of the story. Join me in the next video where we talk about the remaining accusations. Alright people, take care and have a good one.